So, from this day forward, if you leave a comment that says, I bet you could get closer with the intro, I will have to say at this point it's not possible. This is as absolutely close as possible, so please, 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 no more can you get any closers. So, I moved all of the stuff from where I did the close-up stuff earlier for this behind me. So pardon that disaster. I'm going to clean it when this video is over. Alright, with the eyeball shot done and out of the way, what we're going to talk about today is the 2.5 Paps. But on top of that, another layer of wonderful in the LUX Edition of the 2.5 Paps. And here we go. Okay, before I do the close-up stuff, I kind of wanted to do a disclaimer about the 2.5 GP Paps, and especially this being the LUX Edition. The only difference in the LUX Edition 2.5 Paps and the new standard 2.5 Paps is the LUX has these bronzed tubes, and they're still all 316, but these are heat-treated bronzed. And the contacts, instead of being brass in the LUX, they are 24 karat gold plated. So other than that, I guess in function, in the parts, they're mechanically or physically, not even physically wouldn't be the right word, they're identical in shape. All of the pieces are made the same, just this one's heat treated and plated with gold in the contacts. So the review is kind of a dual review for the Paps 2.5 and the LUX. I'm going to concentrate on the LUX, being that's what this is, and so I think we're going to go on to the close-up, and then we'll come back for a vape. So here we go. Alright, so the purpose of this shot is, I guess, to kind of show you a little of the Paps history. We're going to go from, somewhat from, I guess, right to left, but there's a little bit of a skip in between. The tube in the very middle, with the K-Fun Gamma on it, that is a V1, and it's actually a prototype tube, back before there was any engravings on it. Back when they did the V1 was 303 stainless steel. The V2 and the V3, which you will see in the second tube from the right, the polished 18350 tube, the brushed 18500 tube next to it, and the polished 18500 tube with the Ithaca next to that. So basically, the from the right, the second, third, and fourth tube, those are V2s and 2.1s. Those were made with 304 stainless steel. So we started with 303 with the V1, V2 and 2.1 was 304, and now we're to the 2.5, which is the bronzed stainless tube. They kind of have a gorgeous brass look to them. In the 350, the 500, and the 650 tube. Those are now 316, and they're calling it 316 stainless steel calibrated bronze tubes. And that is from the LUX Edition, which is what we're reviewing, but the 2.5 will also be 316 stainless, even if you don't do the bronzed or the brass look in the LUX Edition. So that's a little history of it with the old button versus the new button. And so now we'll go to another close-up to show you the LUX and compare the old button to the new button. So, be right back. Now for me, on the ever-dreaded close-up, the first thing I want to do is show you what a few things will look like on the LUX Paps. Now this is the LUX Paps button, and we'll go into a little detail about it, but just to give you an idea, this is the new Velo Latina from Pedro. Super small, stealthy, just wonderful looking device. Looks absolutely epic on a LUX Paps. Set that aside. This is the 18500 with a doodle bug on it, Again, a phenomenal two-tone look. One of my absolute favorites. Now we'll go to the 18650, a little bit bigger with an Ithaca, and kind of show you what lightsaber mode's going to look like. Pretty big setup. Like, I don't know, not so much. I got pretty big hands. So that's what the Ithaca would look like on there. A few other things to show, but just wanted to kind of show all three of them with something on it. So, the first thing I want to talk about on the what's different about it, I guess I'll show it to you on the 3050 tube. Mainly, really what this is this is heat-treated bronzed stainless steel. It fingerprints like anything polished, but I have noticed it doesn't tarnish as fast as brass. It's got a very similar gorgeous look to it like brass does. But again, like I said, it doesn't tarnish near as bad or as fast as brass. Like after a day of use, you see very little dulling. It's still nice and shiny. Polishes up really well, and the color is all the way through. It's not just on the outside. So that's the tube. Really sturdy, really high quality. 20/1 threading, so a lot of stuff can thread directly into it, like the Velo Latina did. Or like the Fecta will thread direct. Actually, I'll grab not a Fecta, where is it at? Very little editing on this one. So something like the Synthesis would thread directly onto the Paps, to the 2.5 Paps tube, as it did the other ones, as it is the 20/1 threading. So that's the tube. It's just generally a really good quality battery tube, 316 stainless steel bronzed. But now we're going to talk about some of the differences, and I'm going to get as close as I absolutely can for this so you can see the main differences. If you looked at it from this angle, I guess you generally couldn't tell that there is any difference. Now this is a 2.1 spring that I actually did the LUX upgrade to, which basically added that nut to the middle. It also added for me just a little bit smoother throw, but the main difference is going to be in the locking mechanism. With the Paps before, with the locking mechanism, you could not set it down without it firing. Now they have added, it's slightly, I can probably get much closer. It is just ever so slightly recessed. Ever so slightly recessed. And it's got the grooves on it so that it can sit flat on the so it can sit flat on the table and not, whoops. It's ever so slightly notched so it can sit flat on the table and still fire. Now if you want to put it in your pocket, the lock ring now is so much smoother than before. I mean, they really did a good job of making this switch smoother. Now the only difference, so also in the 2.5 now, they've got the telescopic center pin. It's basically a screw within a screw that has dual way, if I can get in camera here. It's dual way adjustable, so this screw will screw out. Works a lot better when it's in the mod. And then this screw will screw out and screw in also. So I think that's all I'm going to do on the close-up. I wanted to show you the recessed button, the difference in the new switch and the old switch, and working backwards on camera, the telescopic center post and the bronzed tube. So with that, be right back. Alright, so that was a little history of the Paps, and a little up close about the parts. And so we're going to start out with a vape. What I have on here today is a Velo Latina. I think I showed this to you earlier. This is a Vela Latina, which is 20/1 threading, the same threading as is in the Caravella. So let's have a vape off of 24 karat gold contacts. Got a little dry. Now, some of that is the result of the 24 karat gold contacts. Some of that is also a result of the Vela Latina being a phenomenal addy. I don't know why it has now been like a year since I bought my first Paps, and I never reviewed the Paps. And I don't know why I never reviewed the Paps, because as you've seen, I have a lot of Paps stuff. Like I've got some of every tube that they've ever made, because I really like the Paps. The Paps has always been, you know, a secondary device for me. It's always been my backup mechanical. But I'll tell you, this LUX Edition, it is phenomenal. Their new locking ring is out of the park. It works so well. Standing it up without locking it, and you know, it not being a resistance thing keeping it up, it physically cannot fire standing up. It's just a really, really, really good design, and the switch turns and plays so flawlessly. The brass contacts in the 2.5 are still going to perform great. I'm going to buy a 2.5 Paps as well because I've got them all, and it's just, I enjoy having the Paps stuff. But the LUX Edition is just special. You know, they did a short run of 25 of them, I believe, here last week. I believe there's going to be a future run of the LUX Edition, and the 24 karat gold contacts is a noticeable difference. Not saying anything down to the brass, because brass, as we all know, is a great conductor. But, man, they're just so nice. It is, you know, I've really been using this for, really since I got it in. I've just really put them through the ringer. I've used them exclusively, these tubes. And unlike brass, I'm noticing that it's not, they're not tarnishing. I can just give it a wipe and it's still polished. It's still beautiful and shiny. They are fingerprint magnets, but so is anything else polished. So, you know, oh man, I don't know what to say about a mechanical mod, really, other than it performs very, very well. The switch has a fantastic design. These bronze tubes are absolutely wonderful. The stainless tubes in the 2.5 are, again, absolutely wonderful. It's a beautiful glass finish stainless steel polish. And I get asked a lot, you know, what mechanical would you recommend? I can't find a Caravella, I can't find a Chiyu. You know, I don't have the funds to approach the secondhand market for that. And for the last year, my response has always been, go get you a GP Paps. It's a great tube. It's got the common 20/1 threading, so you can use it on a lot of different stuff. And, yeah. So, I could sit here and ramble. Not gonna. I'm gonna take another vape and just say, if you're looking for a mechanical and you don't want to take your chances with China, a Paps is generally pretty easy to find. They come in stock pretty regular. Their tubes are very universal and they work with so much stuff. I mean, I buy Paps tubes to use on other things. I'll buy a Pap, like whenever the Fecta came in. I used the Fecta button and the Fecta top cap to have a 510 mechanical mod using a Paps tube. You know, the synthesis, first thing it went to was a Paps. The Vela Latina hit the Caravella first, but then, you know, moved it on over to the Paps for the video and really enjoying it. So it's just, with it being such a universal mechanical, my favorite size at 22 millimeters. It's a double, triple thumbs up for me. Not impossible to find. And so if you don't want to do a coin toss with China, pretty reasonably priced, in the area of $100 whenever they're in stock. And that's what I got. It's Jamie JC West, YouTube, Facebook, Vapor's Place. Be strong, vape on. And we will be doing the Vela Latina tomorrow. So, see you again next time.